Today I want to talk about these Kinvara 9s. I just can't figure these shoes out. Finished our run, commuted home today. 6.73 miles, 7:53 per mile. Feeling really good. Whew. What a difference a midday makes. It's like 45 degrees out right now. Yesterday when I ran in the morning, it was in the 30s and snowing. But today I want to talk about these Kinvara 9s. I just can't figure these shoes out.
So I've run just about 150 miles in these Kinvara 9s. Here they are on the bottom. They're holding up relatively well. They aren't as pretty as they were like the first day when I got them. But I do think that this is a really nicely designed shoe. But I wanted to do kind of like a mid-lifetime review on the shoe because I think there's something wrong with it or there's something wrong with me, I'm not sure. The people that love Kinvaras all seem to love this one as well. This is the first Kivara that I've ever run in. I ran in the Saucony Ride 10 GTXs over the winter. I love that shoe. I ran over 300 miles in that shoe, but I ran in cold, ice, snow, rain, wet, and it really did well in keeping me on the road and running all throughout this Chicago winter. I was hoping for like a lighter, faster version of the Saucony Ride 10 in this shoe, but that's not it. And I think, you know, I've been seeing a couple of other reviews are starting to hit. We Believe in the Run did one, and Ginger Runner did his. Those both dropped this week. And I was listening to what their thoughts were on it. Ginger Runner seemed to love the shoe. He's running the Kinvara 8s. He's running many Kinvaras before. He loved it. The comments that I've been reading on those pages, the people that love the Kinvaras just love the shoe. But on We Believe the Run, he was saying that, and this is something that I've been thinking the entire time, is that he thinks there's some sort of element of structure to this. I mean, this is supposed to be for a neutral runner, a low drop shoe, so I was thinking more like just a less shoe to get in the way of running so that when you're getting up to speed, there's just less to get in the way. But if you look on the inside, there just is a lot compared to the outside. And I know that the trend in shoes is to always kind of like make this part seem as little as possible by bringing some of the color down. That's what they've done here, and that's what they've labeled it as the Ever Run. But on the inside, there's just like a lot of material there. And that's something that my wife noticed right away. When she saw me with these on, like I came back from like my very first run, and she was like, whoa, did you get like extra comfortable or like she doesn't say structured because that's not in her vocabulary. I don't think she called them orthopedic shoes, but she used some sort of term in that vein because she saw this. And that really stuck out to her. And I didn't really even notice it until she mentioned it. But something else that I've noticed about this shoe is the way that it's designed. And the way this is, and the way this is, there's something just about the design, and I don't know if it's actually true or not. I think it is. I don't think it's just in my mind. But I feel like everything about the shoe, I'm not standing when I'm in this shoe. I feel like my feet are like this. I feel like it's making my ankles turn outward, right? And so like when I look down, when I'm running, or even when I'm just standing, I feel like my ankles everything is made to slope out this way. It makes me feel self-conscious about my stride. I know I run a little bit funny, but this makes me like think about how funny I run. And then when I hit my stride, I always feel like my stride is, my foot is hitting and slapping in. And so every stride there's like this weird extra motion. And so this winter, this spring has been really slow to start, and so I've been alternating between this and my Nike Zoom Pegasus 34 shields, which keep me a little bit warmer, as they're designed for kind of these temps. And so what, basically like 30s, and sometimes snowing, sometimes wet. And I've looked at some of the footage. I'm going to compare two different videos that were taken on consecutive days. One was a Saturday long run in the Kinvara 9s that I ran a half marathon distance that day, like 13.7 miles or so. And the following day I ran in the Nike Zoom Pegasus 34 shields. Now when I look at the stride on those, at least from my GoPro angle of me looking down at my feet, I think I see the same exact motion of I hit on the outer side, it slaps my, the rest of my foot kind of slaps down a little bit, and then I push off, and also I think I twist a little bit. That's just my foot stride, my foot strike, and so that's kind of like what's happening. It's going like this. It's doing the same thing in both shoes, but when I run in the Kinvara 9s, while I'm running in them, I feel fine. But the following morning and over like the couple of weeks that I've been running in the shoe, 140, 150 miles, I've been getting aches and pains that I normally don't get, and the kinds of aches and pains that I only do get when I'm at the end of the life of a shoe. And so I think if you've been watching the videos, you've seen me talk about like when I'm at the end of life for a pair of like my Zoom Pegasus, I get a little bit of an ache and pain in my right rear foot, like towards the heel, almost like I have a bruise or a little bit of a stress fracture. At like 100 miles in this shoe, I started to feel that, and around the same time I started feeling soreness in my left Achilles. And so it wasn't like a muscle tenderness. The Achilles isn't a muscle. There's not very much muscle down there. It's the Achilles. And so I tried massaging it, rubbing it. That seemed to make it worse. I tried stretching it, doing like range of motion kind of exercises to it while I was not running and just relaxing, like in between workouts. That seemed to just make things worse. And running in the Kinvara seemed to make that worse. And so I commented on some of the other reviewers' reviews of it, kind of echoing some of the things they were saying or pointing out the things that were bothering me as a non-Kinvara person. And someone mentioned that maybe a low drop shoe just isn't for me, and that's certainly possible. And so I don't blame the shoe. I think the shoe is great for some people, just not me. Great for people who like Kinvaras. If you like Kinvaras, you're gonna love it. But it's not like something where, like, if you like Saucony's running shoes, you're gonna like this. I don't think that I can say that. These are not my favorites. I don't know, I was gonna wait till I get to the 270 is usually kind of like my end of life recap video that I like to put out. I don't know that I'll get there with these. They're not my favorite. Even from the beginning, even after like the first week, after 40 miles, kind of like the love affair was over. These are it's a great shoe, but I'm just not excited about it. I didn't feel excited about it from the beginning, and then after like 100 miles, I realized why. There's something about it. Maybe it's the heel drop or the lack of a heel drop. Maybe it's the slight structured elements that are I think in this shoe that are bothering me, but it's just not for me. It's a great shoe. Very good shoe. Looks great. Feels great probably to some other people, just not me. So if you've got some thoughts on the Kinvara 9, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Let me know if you've run in other Kinvaras, if you've run in this Kinvara. Will I buy another Kinvara? Probably. I'll probably give like the Kinvara 10s a shot next year, but the Kinvara 9s just, it's a shoe I wanted to love, but I just can't.
Yo, what's going on?